Okay, here we go. So we will be looking at Art Studio today. This is a hint into our future final project. However, we will be starting by opening the program. We're going to go to File, New. We're going to create a width of 1200 pixels as well as a height of 1200 pixels. We're going to create a white background and create our artboard. We will pinch the screen in order to see our artboard on the screen. The very first thing we're going to do is take a look at the layers menu. This is very important as this is where the order of our images will be placed. To begin our digital surreal landscape, we will be going to our menu button. We will be starting with placing our background down on our canvas. So we will be going to File, Import, Insert as Layer. This is very important as this layer will go into our layer menu. Again, that is where we will order our images so they appear coherent. Import from photos, and we are going to select our first background image. Now, I am feeling like the cosmos might be very interesting because we don't typically see the space in our world. So we are choosing an image that is not typically seen in our world. We're going to go back to our menu, go to File, Edit, Transform Layer. We're going to move, scale, and rotate this image by pinching and moving the image exactly where we want, and we're going to fill in the entire background and apply. Now, if we go to our layers, you will see that this is in layer 2. We are also working on this layer, which shows a highlighted activated screen. So we're going to click on that and let's type in, we're going to rename this layer as our background. Let me get my keyboard. Okay. So we're going to put background. Alright, so we have our background layer now. We're going to exit out of here. And now we're going to select our foreground. So again, we are going to make sure we go to the menu button, File, Import, Insert as Layer, Import from Photos, and let's grab something interesting that will go in our foreground. I feel like this would be very interesting. An ancient city of Egypt. Nope, don't want to do that. Now, let's go to our layers. This is activated now. We see that we are clicked onto this layer. It is blue. Now we want to place it though in our foreground. So we are going to go to Edit. Oops. Here we go. Transform Layer. Move, Scale, Rotate. We're going to 2 fingers drag this down. Pinch the screen and layer your foreground to fill the screen. Till you're happy, hit apply. Now, this is where the juice comes in. We are going to now make sure you're selected on this layer because we are going to scroll down here in our navigation. Select the dotted square for our selection tool. Go over to this 3rd tool. This is your lasso tool. It's a free form selection tool. You have control over this. If you want to have less control and have the program help you, you can select this magnetic tool. Let's actually choose 1, 2, 3, 4th tool in. We're going to leave that there, exit out, and now let's just drag down our pen to select our foreground. And now I'm not really capturing the edges here that well, so I actually don't like this. So I'm going to tap and go, oh, we're just going to connect it, right? We don't like that though, so we're going to tap, get rid of that. Let's go back to this freeform tool. Alright, I'm going to more carefully select now. Oh, now make sure your hand does not rest on the screen, as this will cause you to lose your selection. This is a very important and intricate process You have to be very focused, move somewhat slowly during this process, as it's easy to lose control, which is why they have those other options to help us grab the imagery. Now that we have this selection, you see the dots, they're like little ants marching in a line around the image that we want. We are going to select Edit, Copy Merged, go back to your layers, you're going to delete this layer. And now, I'm going to add a layer and go Edit, Paste. So now this is pasted in here. Look at that. We want it bigger, File. We go down to our Transform selection. And make sure you're selected. Okay, so we're going to hit Apply, Select, Deselect, or we can go to File, Select, Deselect. Perfect. So now we want to put maybe something in our middle ground, which is right in between the foreground and the background. Get rid of that little section just by tapping on the screen. Go like that. Okay, so we're going to go back to Files. We see our layers here. We have our background. Let's label this guy our foreground. All right. File, Import. Let's import. Now let's import our strange object to put in the foreground. Now, maybe we want a sunflower. Let's move that sunflower over here. Ooh, and look at that. Fits right in. Let's transform this layer. It's as if the sunflower is acting as a sun in the background while we're in space, and apparently Egypt is on Mars. Overall, is this a realistic landscape? Not necessarily. We're creating a surreal or a more bizarre, dreamlike landscape. So now we have our foreground, we have our middle ground, we have our background. We do want to create a little bit juxtaposition here using what we learned from surrealism. So maybe let's duplicate that layer of the sunflower. And now we're going to go File, Edit, Transform Selection. Let's move. There's our layer. We're going to go Edit, Transform. Perhaps we can add this in the foreground. I guess grass, apply. So now we have that weird, we can even take it a step further. Duplicate this again. If you take this guy, duplicate him. We're going to move him to the front again. We're going to File, Edit, Transform that layer. Let's put this guy over here in the background. Perfect. Okay, so now we have a really interesting composition. Okay, and the very final step we're going to do is, let's just take this and let's make this multiply. See what this does. Ooh, look at that. a very interesting effect. You can see how that's affecting there. Now, we want to bring that back though, right? Because we want to see our composition. So now we have a surreal digital composition. You can go File, Save As, and let's do Surreal Landscape Trial. Save, and there we have it.